Delkez here. In this video we are talking about your very first workshop. Big step. Definitely something to get as soon as possible and look forward to. You're going to be refining a lot of stuff and you will have many workshops if you stick with it, but your first one is definitely a big moment. So the first thing you're going to need obviously is 250,000 GRP. Go into the workshop tab here and you'll see right down here it'll have a purchase for 250,000 right there. I've already purchased it, so I see this, but that's where it will be. That's not all you need. Alright, so you need these 4 things to make your workshop work, as well as power for it. And then there's some additional augments that you can put in to make it refined better, so we'll talk about those as well. But to just get your basic workshop up and running, you want to focus on these 4 things: the rig, a screen, a separator, and a sluice. So we'll take a look at those different mods and the power to power them. So the first thing you need, you're going to need a rig. This 3x3 rig is one you get free in missions, but the 3x3 size, you don't have a lot of room in your workshop, so it's not a great one to use. So the one that I like is the KG1 Trommel Shaker. It's a 1x1 mod for your rig. Have a bunch of those, so that's the one I often use. KG1 Trommel. There are a lot of different ones. We can look here on the market. Rig. I like to go with the 1x1s. They're the cheapest. So here's one. KG1 VS1. This is one in a lot of missions. You may have this from some mission you've done. You can use that. The DR1. So there's a whole bunch. Alright. You just need one of those. Then you need one separator. And this one is one that's very common. You'll get in missions. If you do missions, you can get this one for free. So you don't have to buy it. It's 2x2 Dolo Plasma RD100. And you can use that separator. Alright, so that's your rig and your separator. And you also need we got a rig, we got a separator, you're going to need a screen. So there's a bunch of different types. I usually look in these cobalt screens, they're the cheapest right now. You want to get one of these. Here's one for 65,000 GRP. 15 GFC, depending on what you're looking to buy, with 55,000 GRP for a screen. Right? So you'd get one of those. You'd have the rig, the screen, separator. You need a sluice. Come down here in the carbon mesh and get one of these. 120,000, 39 GFC, 195. 100,000 right here, so that might be your cheapest one. Again, right now they don't do anything different, so you can get the cheapest one on all 4 of these and it'll work. So you get all those 4 things, and then another very important mod you're gonna want is the BB26 Alpha Core. Is BB Alpha Core number 26, BB26 for short. GFC or GRP. Sometimes you can get a deal if you go up on the P2, a little bit cheaper. So this is power for your workshop. So you'll want probably 2 to 3 of these you're going to need to power your workshop, depending on what mods you use. Different mods require different power, but 2 to 3 of these. If you get a T2, probably only 2 of them, or 1 T2 and 1 T1, something like that. But this BB24 is 2x2 mod, really great. And so we'll look at my workshop here. So you can see I actually have a T3 and a T2, probably overkill for my mods. But, so those are my power. You'll have 2 or 3 of those in there. You have your rig, right? The KG1. And then the screen here, the sluice, and the trommel. And then, so these other things here, the 2x2s here, are augments. And so once you get your basics up and running, you'll have a probably 98% yield. But you can increase that, okay, so 98%, that's better than the publics that you've probably been using. Publics have, 70% yield, 5% tax. Depending on where you are, they're a little different, but that's about average. All right. So yours, there's not going to be any tax because it's yours, and you're going to have probably a 98% yield. All right, we're going to go start our new workshop now. So we're getting all the things we need. We just put in, this is what we have. So we got one of these from a mission. Standard rig. We got this separator from a mission, and then we crafted these BB26s. This is going to power it. So we got 3 BB26s. I just bought this cobalt screen. Alright, so we're going to take that, and I'm going to buy this Dolo mesh sluice for 100,000 GRP at this station, so it'll come here. Alright, so we should see that now. Dolo mesh sluice. Alright, so we got everything we need. We have our rig, our separator, sluice, and screen, and then 3 power cores. Alright, we also actually have an extra augment, and we'll show you what this does. Alright, we are ready to purchase our first workshop here. So get all your gear and load it into the station. Alright, and then you want to go to the workshop tab right here. And you'll see this, private workshop not owned. Buy 250,000 GRP. This is the first hurdle. Buy. You want to buy it? Yes. Success. You have bought a workshop. Congratulations. You now own your very own workshop. And now you have to load it out. So to open it up, you push this little arrow and it'll open this screen here. All right. And then you'll see your ore right there. But first you want to go over this button. It'll show all your mods. So you want to load all the mods you bought, had in your ship here. So let's put in the power first. These are the BB26 power cores. We'll get 3, so that's a lot of power. Actually, let's put those let's put those there. So, and then you need to check these things off here. So rig, so find your rig here. Our 1-1 rig, the one we got from the mission free, put right there. Alright, so you have your rig checked, and you'll see this goes up there. Alright, screen, find your screen, pull your screen up, screen's checked. Alright, next one, separator. This is the free separator we found in a mission. Let's put this right down, let's put it right here. Alright. We got our separator checked. Next, sluice. Find your sluice. Dolo mesh right here. Let's put it right up here. checked. All right. And we have our augments. We can put those in, but I'll show you what those do later. So just click save right there. Save all your augments in place. All your mods in place. And then you see you have these meters here, right? And you might go like this. You see the time increasing, but it doesn't make much sense. All right. Well, it will more, but first you need to put something in it. So go back to ore, and whatever you have, put in the ore. The bigger, when you're adjusting these, the bigger value, quantity you can do, the better. So put it all in. It'll still say 0. You don't see anything, what's going on. So for each of these, you need to adjust. And each different mod has the perfect setting, so you just kind of have to grab it and see, adjust it. Pull it. Okay, so you look here, the amount's changing. You want to find the spot. Just go left and right, find the spot where it has the most output. 1788, that looks good. 17, alright, I think 1788 is the most, so we'll stop there. Then you grab this one, do the same thing. Pull it up, alright, we're at 3,035, 35, 46, 71, 76. Alright, so I think I saw 77 there. It looks like that's the highest. Alright, so that's the highest there. Then you go to the next one, and you do this for each one, and you'll increase your output. So, and you only have to do this the first time you put your mods on. You don't have to do it every time. So you'll find the spot and just save it and leave it there. Looks like 66 is the best there. So save. Well, we don't have to save yet, but next one. 71. 71, 54. Yeah, 71, 54. Save it. Alright. So that's your standard output. It won't tell you potential yield until you run your first batch. So if you did this all right, it should say 98%. You should get a 98% yield, which is much better than the public workshops, which are about 70, depending on where you are, but most of the time they're about 70. So you have a much better output. You won't have to pay for it. You won't have to pay tax on it. It's yours, which is great. Then, once you got this, you can work towards getting the augments, which will increase the yield of this, right? So I have a couple here that I just got. These aren't the best ones. I mean, this quiver is good. So there's a few different ones. You can work out which one's the best. I can show you mine, how I have mine built, but these are just some extra ones I had laying around, so we're going to throw them in, and you can see how much they increase the output and what they do exactly. So right now, without any augments, we're putting in 216,841 aluminum ore, and we're getting 7154 out. Right? So we have this quiver here. If you look in the details, it says it augments 20.2, increases volume, right? So we put it on, and you can see we increased our output by quite a lot. We went from 71 to 89. So using augments greatly increases your output, and so you definitely want augments on your workshop. It's not necessary, you know, your first workshop, get the basics and run from there, because it's better. It's way better than paying to use workshops, right? So just get your standard stuff, and then eventually, once you have more GRP, GFC you can use, work towards getting augments. Let's see if we can put this one in. We can put both in. So there's time augments, there's input augments. I just have these extra ones sitting here, so we're going to run this like that. We have 80%, 5% time, and plenty of power. We'd only need 2. We'll only use 2 power in this one. So we're gonna save this because we'll use these and we'll get that much of it out in 24 hours. So that's kind of your basic. Here I'll show you this is kind of how I have all my other main, like my main refining ones. We have all the obviously the rig, screen, separator, sluice in there. We have your power. And with mine, I can run it a T2 BB26 and a T1, and it powers everything. And then I have a T2 dredge, which reduces the time. This is an augment that reduces the time. Here's the T3 quiver, which just increases output, and the T2 Kaya, which increases output as well. So one's input, one's yield, but they essentially both increase the amount of the ratio. They better the ratio of your refining. So that's kind of the basics. If you have any other questions, reach out to me. I'm doing other videos like this to help other players, so if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to do a video on it for you, and if you have the question, likely a whole bunch of other people do too.